No one tells you that sometimes the most painful thing isn't breaking down, it's not feeling anything at all. You wake up and the world feels distant. Coffee tastes the same, music plays, people talk, yet everything seems wrapped in glass. You laugh when you're supposed to, you answer messages, you go to work, but inside, it's quiet. Too quiet. Like your emotions have packed up and left without warning. That's what emotional numbness really is. Not the presence of despair, but the absence of aliveness. It's the mind's quiet decision to protect you when it's been hurt too many times. Somewhere deep inside, a switch flips not to punish you, but to save you. Your brain whispers, if feeling means danger, then maybe it's safer not to feel at all. And so, you keep living technically alive, emotionally disconnected. The strange part? No one can see it. On the surface, you look composed, even strong. But inside, there's a stillness that hums beneath your ribs, a silence pretending to be peace. If you've ever found yourself in that silence, this isn't weakness, it's survival. And understanding why it happens is the first step toward learning how to feel again. When life hurts too much, the brain doesn't ask for permission, it simply shuts the lights off. You see, your mind has one job: to keep you safe. When fear, loss, or heartbreak flood your system, it looks for a way out. Sometimes that means fight, sometimes it means run, and sometimes it means freeze. The freeze response isn't weakness. It's ancient, the same instinct that once kept our ancestors alive when facing danger they couldn't escape. When your heart has been bruised too many times, your body does what it knows best. It protects you by going still. It's as if your nervous system quietly says, "This is too much, let's turn down the volume." So the feelings fade, the colors dull, and everything becomes a little quieter, not because you don't care, but because your brain is trying to stop the bleeding. That silence you feel inside, it's not emptiness, it's protection, a pause your body creates, so you can survive what your heart cannot handle right now. But the brain doesn't always remember to switch the lights back on. It can get stuck in that frozen state, long after the danger has passed. And that's when numbness stops being a shield and starts becoming a cage. No one becomes emotionally numb overnight. It happens slowly, like a light dimming one layer at a time. Maybe you grew up in a home where no one talked about feelings, where silence was safer than honesty. Or maybe you were the strong one, the one who held everyone else together until there was nothing left for you to hold inside. For some people, numbness begins with exhaustion. They've cared too deeply, too often, and the weight of it has drained them dry. For others, it starts with betrayal, the kind that makes your chest tighten every time you start to trust again. And then there are those who were taught from childhood that emotions are weakness. They learn to smile instead of cry, to say, "I'm fine," even when they were breaking. Over time, that mask fuses to the skin. Each disappointment, each rejection, each unspoken hurt becomes another signal to the brain. Feeling equals danger. So it adapts. It shuts the door, not out of apathy, but out of self-defense. And the saddest part? You might not even notice it happening. One day, you just wake up and realize the world doesn't touch you like it used to. Not because you don't want to feel, but because, somewhere along the way, you learned that feeling hurts too much. Sometimes people confuse emotional numbness with sadness or depression, but they're not the same thing. Sadness still has a pulse. It aches, it moves, it cries for release. Numbness is quieter. It's like the ocean after a storm still, heavy but strangely hollow. When you're depressed, everything feels too heavy to carry. You know what hurts, but you can't find the energy to fight it. When you're numb, you can function. You wake up, you work, you talk, but you feel disconnected from all of it. It's like watching your own life through a window you can't open. And then there's dissociation, that distant cousin of numbness. It's when your mind floats away from your body, as if it can't stand being here anymore. You might stare at a wall for minutes without realizing time has passed. You're there, but not really. These states are the body's way of saying the same thing in different languages. I don't feel safe. Your mind shuts doors to keep you from collapsing, but it forgets to unlock them once the danger is gone. If you've ever wondered why nothing feels real, why joy doesn't reach you, or pain doesn't sting, that's your nervous system still holding its breath, waiting for proof that the world won't hurt you again. And this is where healing begins. Not in blaming yourself for being numb, but in softly asking, what is my body protecting me from? Because once you understand the difference, you stop judging yourself and start listening. At first, going numb feels like safety. You stop getting hurt, the noise quiets down, you can finally breathe again. But slowly, the silence that once felt peaceful starts to feel empty. You begin to realize the wall you built to keep the pain out has also kept everything else out. Love, laughter, connection. You've become so good at surviving that you've forgotten how to live. Many people build their fortress out of strength. They stay busy, chase success, make jokes when things get too real. They call it control, they call it calm. But inside, they're just tired of being the one who always has to hold it together. And maybe that's you. Maybe you've worn armor for so long that you can't remember who you were before it fits so tightly. You tell yourself you prefer solitude, but deep down, you know it's not peace. It's protection. The truth is, walls don't just keep danger out. They keep life out too. If this part of the story feels close to yours, maybe that's your reminder to start gently opening one window at a time. Let light in, even if it hurts your eyes at first. And if you're someone learning to feel again, you're not alone here. That's what this channel is for. Subscribe, stay with me, and let's learn together how to live beyond the walls we built to survive. Even when your mind goes quiet, your body never forgets. It remembers every heartbreak, every argument you swallowed, every moment you told yourself, I'm fine. Sometimes, numbness doesn't just live in your chest, it hides in your shoulders, your stomach, your breath. That tightness in your neck, that knot in your gut, that heaviness that shows up for no reason, they're not random, they're messages. They're the body's way of whispering what your mind has tried to bury. When emotions have nowhere to go, they sink deeper into muscles, into bones, into the way you hold yourself. You stop breathing fully. You move like you're trying not to disturb the pain that sleeps inside you. It's strange, isn't it? You can look calm on the outside, but inside, your body is still bracing for impact, still waiting for the next blow that may never come. That's why healing isn't just about talking it out. It's also about learning to feel safe inside your own skin again. Sometimes it starts with something simple, a deep breath you don't rush, a slow stretch in the morning, a quiet walk without your phone. Because when you give your body space to exhale, it begins to trust that it's allowed to release what it's been holding. And little by little, the ache softens. Not because the pain vanished, but because you finally stopped asking your body to carry it alone. The first sign of healing isn't peace, it's pain. When the numbness starts to fade, emotions return like a slow sunrise, awkward, blinding, and beautiful in the same breath. You might cry for no reason. You might feel anger that's been sleeping for years. Sometimes even joy can sting, because your heart doesn't know how to hold it yet. It's like thawing after a long winter. Your fingers ache as the blood comes back, and you wonder if this pain means something's wrong. But it doesn't. It means life is returning. When you begin to feel again, it's messy. You won't control what surfaces. Old memories might knock on the door, the ones you thought you'd buried for good. And yes, it can be frightening. After so long in silence, even the sound of your own heartbeat can feel too loud. But that ache, that trembling, that sudden wave of emotion you can't explain, that's your nervous system coming back online, relearning how to move, how to trust, how to be human again. So, when it hurts, don't rush to shut it down. Pause, breathe, let it pass through you instead of around you. Because pain is not the opposite of healing, it's the doorway to it. Every tear, every shiver, every spark of feeling is your soul quietly whispering, "I'm back." Healing isn't about chasing big emotions. It's about teaching your heart that it's safe to feel again. After long seasons of numbness, your body doesn't trust easily. It flinches at closeness, tenses when things get too real. It learned that feelings once led to pain, so now, even comfort can feel like danger. That's why healing starts small. Tiny moments, gentle proof, quiet safety. It might be as simple as sitting in silence without rushing to distract yourself. Taking a slow walk without your phone. Letting someone hug you and actually staying there long enough to feel it. Writing a few words in a journal that no one will ever read. These are not little things. These are messages to your nervous system. You're safe now. And when safety begins to return, emotions follow on their own. You don't have to force them. You don't have to dig for them. You just have to stop running from them. The truth is, healing is rarely dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly in routines, in breaths, in the soft decision to be kind to yourself, even when you don't feel like you deserve it. So, go slow. Don't rush the thaw. Every gentle act of care is a signal to your body that it can finally exhale. That this time, it's safe to come home. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that strength means silence, that the strong don't cry, don't tremble, don't break. But that's not strength, that's survival. Real strength is softer. It's the courage to stay open when everything in you wants to shut down. It's choosing to feel, even when feeling hurts. Because numbness is easy, it asks nothing of you. Feeling, though, feeling asks for presence. It demands that you stand in the middle of your truth and say, "This is me, this is real." You see, pain doesn't make you weak. It proves that you still care. Tears are not a sign of losing control, they're a sign that you've stopped pretending. And in a world that constantly tells you to move on, to stay positive, allowing yourself to feel is an act of quiet rebellion. So maybe strength isn't about holding everything in. Maybe it's about finally letting go of the old armor, the old stories, the old shame. Maybe it's about looking at your own reflection and seeing someone who's been through hell but still chooses to love, to hope, to try again. If that's where you are trembling but open, then you're already stronger than you think. Because it takes far more courage to feel deeply than to feel nothing at all. Healing rarely arrives with fireworks. It comes quietly like sunlight, slipping through the blinds after a long night. One day, you catch yourself laughing, and it feels real. A song hits you harder than you expected. You stand outside and notice how the wind moves through the trees, and for the first time in a long while, you actually feel it. That's what coming back to life looks like. Not a grand transformation, but a series of small awakenings. Moments when you stop performing and start participating again. Moments when you stop surviving and start belonging to the world once more. You may not even realize it at first, but one morning you'll wake up and sense something different. A softness where there used to be armor, a warmth where there used to be walls. That's the moment you know you didn't just escape the numbness. You outgrew it. You stopped needing protection from your own heart. You stopped confusing peace with silence. And you started to remember what it means to be fully, beautifully human. If you've felt any part of this journey, if you've lived through that silence and are finding your way back to feeling, share your story in the comments. Someone out there needs to hear it. And if you'd like to keep walking this path together, learning how to heal and feel again, subscribe. This is our space, where quiet hearts come back to life.